ladies and gentlemen, shortly from now, 20 minutes from now, we have the launch of the latest book, Mightier Than the Sword by Jeffrey Archer.
As it is something I know you will all agree with me, because I've given it a lot of thought. England are going to win the World Cup. No. All we have to do is win 5 matches in a row. And then we will have done it. Right, let's get rid of the photographers, because I can't do with the flashes. Can't talk. So it's lovely to be back. And so I've finished, and there will now be 7. Because Harry is only 51 at the end of book 5. Emma's only 49, and John, so I couldn't kill them all off at the end of one book. So you're getting 2 more books. There'll be 7 Clifton Chronicles, and this one is, of course, the 5th. And I'm going to ask you a thought about writing a book. How? Whoa! Very good, very good. And how many have had your book published? Wow! Very good. Well done. The facts are very 1,000 books that are written, only 1 is published. For every 1,000 that are published, only 1 gets onto the bestsellers list. For every 1,000 that get onto the bestsellers list, only 1 makes it to number 1. It's very, very tough, but that shouldn't stop you writing if you want to, because I am not a writer. I am a storyteller. I tell a tale. I want you to turn the page. And you in India have a great tradition of this, because one of my heroes is R.K. Moran. I think Magoldi Days is a work of genius, and he should have been given the Nobel Prize to prove it. So I came to writing by mistake. I'd always wanted to be a politician. But I left Parliament at the age of 34 and wrote not a penny more, not a penny. Thank you, madam, very much indeed. Thank you. Should we try that again? I wrote not a penny more, hold your breath. It got published and it sold 3,000 copies. I keep reading it was one of the world's great bestsellers. It sold 3,000, and then it came out in paperback, and it sold 25,000 in a month. So no, I rang up the publishers, and I said, it sold 25,000 in a month, are you going to publish another 25,000? No, they said, no, it doesn't work like that. You write another book and we'll build you up. No, I said, you sold 25,000, sell another 20. No, they said. Yes, I said. No, they said. Yes, I said. And they published another 25,000 and they sold them in a month. So I said, are you going to publish another 25,000? No, they said. Yes, I said. No, they, yes, I said. And they published another 25,000. Last month I rang them up and I said, are you going to publish another 25,000? That's 17,775,000, and I still have to ring them every single month. But the breakthrough came with a book called Cain. Oh, you're there in a minute. The breakthrough came with a book called Cain and Abel, which the Americans, we decided we'd auction it. And I was very young at the time, and I didn't know what that meant. It meant that the big houses in America would read the book, and then a week later they would decide what to pay for it. And they bid for it, and the final bid was $3,200,000 in 1970s. So my life changed overnight, literally overnight. But they rang me up and said, we've got a problem, Jeffrey. Nobody in the United States has ever heard of you. So we've got to get you on television. We've got to get you on a breakfast show so that millions of people can see you, and then they'll go and buy Cain and Abel. Fine, I said. They said the other problem is that it's quite difficult to get novelists onto television because they don't like novelists. They're much happier with non-fiction. If you'd written a book on how to cure cancer, we'd have you on tomorrow morning. If you'd written a book on a better sex life, you'll be on tomorrow morning. If you've written a book on how to lose 14 pounds in 14 days, we'll have you on tomorrow morning. Still, they battled away, and they rang up with 2 weeks to go and said, you're on. We've got you on Good Morning America with Dave Hartman. But you're only on for 6 minutes between 7:22 and 7:28. And you're sharing it with 2 other people. The first person on will be Billy Carter, the brother of the President of the United States, and he will be promoting Billy's beer. Second on will be Mickey Mouse. And Mickey Mouse is celebrating 75 years of Walt Disney. And then you go on, and you've got 2 minutes. And because nobody's ever heard of you, you've got to say the words Cain and Abel as often as you can in 2 minutes. Got it, I said. And they said, we're going to make you as big as we can. We're going to fly you over on this new airplane called Concorde. We're going to have a stretch limousine pick you up. We're going to take you to the Plaza Hotel where you'll be in the presidential suite. Everybody will know you've arrived. So I did. I came over on Concorde. The stretch limousine was there. I stayed at the Plaza. I didn't sleep that night. I put on my best suit, white shirt, a tie my wife had chosen. I was ready. It's taken down to CBS studios. I was put into the green room, and there was Billy Carter, and there was Mickey Mouse. At 7:22, up went Billy Carter, and I have to tell you, he was very good. The problem was he spoke for 2 minutes and 14 seconds. So he stole 14 seconds of my time. Up went Mickey Mouse. Now I have to tell you, Mickey is a pro. Mickey taught me something in television that I sit down in front of Mr. Hartman, the green light goes off, the red light comes on, the camera comes in, and I look at Cain and Abel, and it's a beautiful, fresh copy that has clearly never been opened. So I'm very, very nervous. And he looks at me and he says, and he's got my notes in front of him. And he says, "Hi, Jeff." Not a good start. He said, "I hear you came over on the Concorde." I said, "Yes, that's right. This is an amazing aeroplane. It flies twice the height of any aeroplane in the history of man. It flies twice the speed of any aeroplane in the history of man. You can have breakfast in London, and when it lands in New York, you can have breakfast again. It's an achievement of engineering of which any nation on earth would be proud." To which Mr. Hartman said, "It's been lovely having you on the show." My publishers were not pleased. Not one mention of Cain and Abel, and they're desperate to get the book into the top 15. Because if it gets into the top 15 on the New York Times, they half the price. A $30 book becomes 15, and of course you've got a chance of staying there. Whereas if you don't get into the top 15, after 3 weeks, they send all the books back. So they weren't pleased. Now they said, "We're sending you down to Chicago. We're sending you down to Chicago, and you're going to be on the Milt Schulman radio show." Now, as you know, Milt Schulman, great Nobel Prize winner. This time I've got 6 minutes on my own. So there's a real chance. They kept saying, "Please say Cain and Abel again and again and again, Jeffrey. There's 11 million people listen to..." Oh, up I go. What I didn't know about the great Milt Schulman is he doesn't like to meet the person he's interviewing. He likes the spontaneity of having never met the person. So up I go. There is the great Milt Schulman sitting in his seat. There is me, and he says, "Ladies and gentlemen, I have in the studio with me this evening a legend. I have with me in the studio a man I have wanted to meet all my life. Will you welcome to the studio the conqueror of Everest, Sir Edmund Hillary." To which he said, "But until he comes..." 2 weeks I've shot up to 35 on the bestsellers list. I'm not getting in the top 15. No one's giving me a ride home on Concorde. I'm in real trouble as I troop round the country. I finally get to California and the publishers ring me and say, "This is your last chance, Jeffrey. Don't blow it. Please don't blow it. We got you on this show." So I go on the show and I sit in front of this gray-haired, dignified man, beautiful suit, very smart, and I think, right, I'm ready. I'm ready this time. I'm ready. He says, "Ladies and gentlemen, I've just read a book called Cain and Abel. I read it in 2 days, and I'm telling every one of you to get this book tomorrow, because you will have a weekend you won't forget for the rest of your life." And no, wait, patience, children, patience. I didn't even have to speak. The book went to #1 on the New York Times the following Sunday. I flew home on Concorde. And I want to thank Mr. Johnny Carson for changing my whole life. So, you need a bit of luck. And since then, of course, I've written 20 novels and visited your country 11 times, which I always enjoy, otherwise I wouldn't be back here for the 11th time. But at the age of 70, I made a decision. I was going to write these 5 books. I was going to write the Clifton Chronicles, and now you've got the 5th. And now I have to live to 77 to make sure I can do the other 2. And after that, I plan to write, because so many of you have asked, I plan to write another set of short stories, which will follow the Clifton Chronicles, and then a novel I've wanted to write for the last 5 years. So I've now got to live to 80. But the point of it is, it's good to have a reason to go on and on, because gone are the days when you can retire and rest at 60, 65. A lot of you youngsters will live to 100. Yes, you will. You'll live to 100. And the world has changed. Now, I just want to tell you one short story before I take questions. So have your questions ready, because it's from the questions that I learn what you want to know. I want to tell you about my trip in from Mumbai airport into Mumbai. I am traveling in the car at the usual 3 miles an hour, which is about 1 mile an hour more than you can do in this city. By the way, while I'm on that subject, I would like someone intelligent in this audience, someone clever who understands the Indian people, to tell me, who is it that teaches young people that when they're on the road driving, the aim in life is to get the white line to come down the middle of the car? You are the only nation on earth who tries to get the middle white line to go down the middle of the car. I don't know anybody else who does that. I also don't know any other nation on earth where the rickshaws, or the smallest thing, are on the fast lane with the lorries. And my car seems to be dodging in and out of them to try and get above 30 miles an hour. I haven't given up. I have written to your Prime Minister and offered my position, my authority, my challenge, my age, and said I am willing to be the Minister of Transport.
Hello, sit.
You're quite right. Blooming impossible job. So I was going to tell you, in comes the car in the middle of a highway. So while I'm waiting, a little boy comes up with a pile of books. He's got a pile, and he knocks on my window, and I wind it down, and he says, "Would you like the latest Jeffrey Archer?" I said, "I am the latest Jeffrey Archer." Right, I'm going to take your questions now. You will tell me your name, and because I'm going slightly deaf, and some of you speak in an accent I can't always understand, so please be as clear as you can with your questions, and I will attempt to answer them. The lady behind has the microphone, and there's a gentleman with a microphone as well. Stand up, tell me your name. Hello.
Hello.
No, I can't hear a word.
Hello, Archer.
Hello.
I'm Anusha.
No one can hear that. Hold it up here.
I am
Speak up.
Anusha.
You
Hi,
are Anisha.
everybody.
Anusha. Your daughter. No, no one would claim she was their daughter. No. Come on, speak up.
Yeah. I have a question. I'm not sure whether it's a question or not. I read First Among Equals. I'm very disappointed that you didn't make Simon as president. I mean PM.
Didn't make the Conservative.
Yeah, Simon.
Well, you're too right-wing. That's the problem with you. You're a right little right-winger, aren't you?
No,
How old are you?
I'm 25.
What?
25.
Are you going into Parliament?
I would like to.
Not. Oh, she'd like to. Give her a large round of applause. Good, good, good. Because I just felt the Labour guy was in, as the book panned out, was the better man, actually. But I'd like to say something more important. This country, like mine, like any country on earth, needs the finest people it can get to go into public life, and I hope you make it. Next.
Hello, sir. I'm
Hello. It's a women's only evening, which suits me.
I know. Even though
Hello, are you flirting?
No. So my question to you is, are you Harry Clifton?
Am I Harry Clifton? Yes, and my wife is Emma. I'm Harry, my wife is Emma. One of my best friends is Giles. It's very autobiographical. And since I saw you, I'm very proud, since I last saw you, my wife, Mary, she became a young lady. Because she went after Oxford, she taught at Oxford, then at Cambridge, then ran the hospitals. Now, first ever woman of a national gallery or national museum. Your generation will find it a lot easier. But yes, she is Emma. Next.
Hello, Mr. Archer.
I can see you, sir.
My name is Bhargav.
Can you hear him at the back? We'll try and, yeah.
Yeah. Can we expect another book for your Cain and Abel series? I mean, there's Cain and Abel, this prodigal daughter, and there's Shall We Tell the President. So, can we expect another book, please?
The gentleman wants another book from the Cain and Abel series. No, sir. It'll be when you get to the end of the Clifton Chronicles, I can hear you all saying, can we have book number 8? No. So, write your own book. Get on with it. Stop expecting. How old are you? 24. Get on with it. No, not doing that.
Lord Archer, I'm
There you are,
this way. Professor Satyak, and I'm a professor of management. 270 million copies. You are a superstar author. It's very evident from the crowd here. You are touching 70, 75.
I'm 32. And I'm flirting with this girl over here.
You are.
Shut up. How old are you? 23. Perfect age for me. Try again.
You are a true blue celebrity. What gets you up in the morning? What's the reason for this fire in the belly?
Yeah.
What gets you going? I mean,
Yeah.
there is no territory that you haven't conquered in the literary world.
Yeah.
You are what the Spanish call Los Galactico, a true blue superstar. So congratulations.
I think.
So what's the fire in the belly?
I think if you're very lucky, God gives you a talent. You may be a violinist, you may be an opera singer, you may be a ballerina. I am a storyteller. But above that, you need energy. And it is energy that will take you to the next stage. Lazy, talented people do not make it. The best example I can explain to you, that you will all understand straight away, is Picasso. What amazing energy Picasso had. If he'd only had the gift that God gave him to be the great artist of his era, we might never even have seen him. But he had amazing energy. So I think the answer to your question is, or as I say when I'm lecturing to children, when school children ask me to go, I say, listen carefully, children. Talent plus energy, you're a king. Energy and no talent, you're still a prince. Talent and no energy, you'll be a pauper. You need to work hard. Let me remind you, each book is 1,000 hours, 14 drafts, handwritten. I wish there was an easy way out. In fact, an Indian lady came to see me because she wants to write a novel, and she came in and she saw me and she said, I want to know the secret of how you get your stories. And I said, well, it's a God-given talent. I've been very lucky. And she said, no, I'm not going to tell anybody. If you tell me, I won't tell another soul. How do you get these stories? I said, no, they come every day. I'm very lucky. It just never stops. No, I promise I won't tell anybody. I said, okay. I go to the bottom of the garden with a spade and I dig a hole in the ground and I look into the ground and I go, oh look, Cain and Abel.
It's so long, and there have been so many trends out here within books. Like there are e-books right now, there are audiobooks. And what do you feel about these? Okay, full disclosure, I'm working on a business idea, and that is why I'm asking.
Yeah. It's a very awkward question as to what is going to happen in the world of writing. I will tell you the facts. 5 years ago in England, I was selling 5% of my books on Kindle.
With you, I consider it a great privilege. I am a writer too. I've just published a novel, a medical thriller, Imagination. Is it possible?
I think a lot of the stories come from, I've admitted that I'm Harry, Mary's Emma, a bit of Giles in me. You obviously weave in stories you've heard from other people. To be very careful to do as an author, and you will know this very well, is you can't have a coincidence that is ridiculous. You can have coincidences, and I'm going to give you examples. Pay attention, because there's a lot of people mumbling out there silly people haven't come to, you would have just dismissed it as stupid. There's a very, very great artist. I'm sure those of you who love your art will know this great critic. In Sydney, Australia, and one lived in Perth, Australia. And the great art critic decided this has got to end before it passed. On exactly the same day, the brother said, this has got to end. I'm going to drive to Sydney and I am going to say this must end. I might just have got away with that, except the two cars crashed. And the art critic, if you'd put that in a book, nobody would have accepted it. It would have been dismissed as the most ridiculous coincidence. So that sort of thing an author has to avoid. You can get away with a bit, but you can't get away with that. But the answer to your question is I think most of it comes out of my imagination. Two more questions and I'm going to sign books.
Good evening, Mr. Archer.
See you, I think I can see you. Yes.
For the country, that I love writing. So can you give advice for children like me who like reading and writing?
I think, how old are you? How old are you? 12. Come here. Come up the front. Let's humiliate you. Are you ready, 12-year-old? Give her a large round of applause. She's 12 years old. Come on. Wow. And you want to write a book? This is the future of India. She's 12 and she wants to write a book. First thing you must do, I didn't start till I was 34. So you want to read a lot. read the classics, read the great writers, read the great short story writers, and try and write, to begin with, just a paragraph, just a page, reading great writers all the time so that it's getting in there. And then when you're about 13, you can sit down and write War and Peace. So the first thing I would say is, and if there's anyone else out there, read, because then it will go into you and you'll see the bad stuff. Because once you've read the good stuff, you'll spot the bad stuff very quickly indeed. So read Jane Austen, read Charles Dickens, read Rebecca, read Stefan Zweig, read the great writers, even before you think about writing. And come and see me in 10 years' time and tell me how you got on. Back.
The problem is, and you've hit a problem, when I sit down to start the new book, I know this will make you, what I think of is you awful. Pay attention. Thank you for supporting me over so many years.
Thank you very much, Lord Archer. Lord Archer.
Away, wicked photographers. Away.
Thank you, sir. Chaliye.
People can get across. Nowhere in front.
Sir, Mutte.
Please go ahead, sir.
Next one.
Ahead. Yeah, please come ahead. Mr. Archer, any advice for budding writers?
Well, no.
Need tips?
Not given.
I know, so I don't know if I have it yet or not.
You'll find out. The public. Good luck.
Second page खोलने को रखिए.
Who's this? One book each. He's all.
Only one book per person.
One book each only.
Allow it, yeah, one book only. Just one.
Please go ahead.
Who's this book for? Is this you?
Yeah, sir. No, only two books.
One book only.
Yeah, आपका है ना? I didn't get any signature.
Yes, you did.
मीडिया आप प्लीज पीछे होइए, हम इधर
You haven't got one.
ये किसका है? ये किसका book है?
मीडिया प्लीज स्टेप बैक. I cannot
ये आपका?
No, I don't want anybody there except people.
Yeah, sir. हो
No,
गया?
I don't want you there. I want you security.
No, sir. हाँ. दीपा. चल भाई मैं तेरे को भेज.
इधर 2 मिनट आना.
Your book? Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Good luck.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's wonderful to see such a warm response. We'd just like to remind you of our request, which is please turn to the second book, take the autograph.
The next one. Where's the next one? Where's the next one?
There are so many of us waiting.
I had no idea.
And who gets the second autograph? And we turn to the second. No time for us, no time for selfies either. So we request you to refrain from making requests for either of these. Thank you so much.
The lady who's doing the announcing.
Please move ahead, ma'am. Leave the book here and move ahead, please.
Where is she?